2 years ago today, on September 10th, 2020, there was a post in the COD competitive subreddit by user KazerTV asking about adult recreational leagues for Call of Duty. Many users commented stating that they had not heard of anything like that and how fun it might be. Reddit user Mellowade took it upon himself to invite the users from that thread into a Discord server. The server would turn into the Call of Duty Rec League. Hello to everybody who finds this video. My name is Jims. I'm one of the owners of the Cod Rec League and one of its original Day 1 members. It has been a whole 2 years since the CRL has been founded. We've had so many new members join, and it's time we take a trip down memory lane to talk about the CRL's humble beginnings. This is the history of the inaugural season of the Cod Rec League, something I like to refer to as Season 0. The same day that Mellowade launched a Discord server, it grew to about 50 members. The original plan was for everyone to sign up as a solo or with a duo. Teams were randomly created and scheduled to play a single best of 5 competitive Call of Duty match on Modern Warfare 2019 using the Call of Duty League's rule set. After about 2 weeks of this, the organizing team quickly figured out that this was not a sustainable practice due to the amount of time it took to create new teams each week and the amount of substitutes that teams needed. For week 2 of the league, we even had to resort to going to 4v4, which was not typical with Modern Warfare's competitive 5v5 system. We felt it would be a good idea with Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War right around the corner to run a test season of sorts to make sure that when the new game dropped, we had a better idea of what we were doing. But we ended up getting way more than what we could have imagined. To gather hype for our first season, the original team names were created with the logos drawn up by Mellowade's brother, Bert. The names are all parodies of the Call of Duty League franchises, and with help from the community, we thought of some pretty clever names. Since Reddit was where this all started, that's where the first recruitment post was sent, and it was a huge hit. In a matter of 24 hours, the CRL grew from approximately 50 members to over 400. Mellowade's best friend, Chairforce1, alongside Day 1 member Shio, who had been a huge help in the first few weeks of the server without even owning the game, took full control as the owners. They assembled the first mod team, which consisted of Day 1 members like myself, Senor, Snoop, Scoob, T-Bell, Carrie, Mags, Whale, Ozzy, and Cookie. It was decided that the first season will be run on a 4-week Swiss bracket format so that games would get more competitive week over week. Players could only register as a solo or duo, just like before, to prevent team stacking, and they would be matched up with other random players of similar skill. There were 3 different skill divisions to register for, at the time simply named A, B, or C. A being the highest skill, C being the lowest. All A-level players were separated into their own division, while the B-C players were mixed into lower-tier divisions. At this time, there were even enough players for a European division, but there were no separation of skill levels. The A division ended up being 20 teams, while the B-C players were split into 4 different divisions of 10, simply named Divisions 1, 2, 3, and 4. The European division had enough players for 14 teams. I would love to sit here and say that the inaugural season of the Call of Duty Rec League went off with 0 problems, but that wasn't the case, not even close to it. Week 1 saw about 70% of players turn out, and there were not enough substitute players to fill in the gaps. A lot of matches didn't happen, and many matches ended up being 4v4, even with Modern Warfare being a 5v5 competitive game. Some matches even 3v3. The spreadsheets, oh my god, the spreadsheets were a mess, and the CRL team scrambled to make matches happen while juggling their own matches. There were several reasons one could point to as to why the first week of matches went so poorly. There was a lack of player turnout, of course, but a large part of the problem was due to poor communication from the CRL, as well as the fact that we put our signups on Reddit and Twitter with 0 requirement to join the Discord server for communication, meaning that many captains could not find their teammates. Whoops. It was an absolute dumpster fire, but we got through it. And through the ashes, an entirely new league was essentially born going into week 2. With the amount of players that didn't show up, there were a lot of teams that needed to be cut. Division A was cut from 20 teams all the way down to 16. Division 1's turnout was so bad, it had to be removed entirely. Rest in peace, Division 1. I'm going to take a second to ask everyone to have a moment of silence for Division 1. Thank you. Division 2 added 2 new teams from the ashes of Division 1, and EU was cut down to just 10 teams from 14. With all that said, Week 2 actually went off fairly smoothly. The teams and players left were more dedicated, and mostly everyone decided to show up for their match, and everyone seemed to have a great time. Then, Week 3 came along. Infinity Award or Activision, whoever the hell it was, decided that since COD Champs was over, the game didn't need dedicated servers anymore. What a joy. For those who don't know, Modern Warfare Connection was extremely unreliable. Finding a stable host in a private match was nearly impossible, no matter the location or internet quality of the host. If anyone didn't know the context behind the Shio took our daddies away meme, this is the reason. We got multiple messages from players wondering why the CRL took daddies out of the game. People actually thought the CRL had the power to remove these servers from the game. Those were enjoyable messages to respond to. Matches weren't necessarily a mess, but there were a lot of hosting complaints that resulted in many players dropping after the week. This wasn't too big of an issue because we were finally heading into week 4 matches, our first ever championship week. In a perfect system, after 3 weeks of Swiss bracket play with 16 teams, you should end up with 2 undefeated teams at the end to play for the final. Due to the number of teams dropping out and divisions switching around, we just couldn't have it perfect. There are some tiebreaker matches to be played, but by the start of week 4, the stage was set for our first ever championship matches. In Division A, we had the Dallas Flat Tires versus the Minnesota Flopper.
That would be pretty great though if we had the free burritos coupon for round 11.
How about this? If it goes to round 11, I give all of you permission to go out and buy burritos. Also, if it doesn't go to round 11, you should all go out and buy burritos in sorrow.
Well, Sam's going to pick up first blood. Blip will pick up a second, as well. Dallas right now is just 3 kills away, 2 kills away. 1 kill now. It's all on Basson, and he is going to go down, and Dallas will be your A Division chumps.
In Division 2, rest in peace Division 1, we had Lag versus Florida Muteteers.
Now, so it looks like Florida are going to take the 3-0 for the night. They just had a fantastic domination there too. LAG should have been able to hold it. I think that 3-piece from who was it? Helpa, CJ.
In Division 3, we once again had a matchup between Lag and the Florida Muteteers.
I think Florida just needed to jump on top of it a little bit faster. Like I said, they had control of AB for a good while. It's just they weren't able to hold it. They kept letting A go to waste, or they weren't watching it close enough. And then you just can't get quad pieced, man. You can't.
You can't let that happen.
You cannot.
You have to get that trade.
In Division 4, we had the Dallas Flat Tires taking on the New York Subpar.
No matter what you say, I mean, what a comeback for Dallas, regardless of how this ends. Fantastic.
But actually,
holy smoke.
New York
Oh my
down
gosh,
the hill right
it is
now.
so
Dallas has to
close.
get in.
Can he
It's
pull it up?
contested.
Dallas pulls that up.
52-49.
Well, holy smokes.
What?
Well played, Dallas. I cannot believe that. You had, what, a 20-30 point deficit? They came back 1 point game. What a way to end it. Holy smokes.
Look at these kills coming from right at the very end. I thought New York had that, and Alt F4 just slid in the back and snuck it through.
And for the European division, we had the Atlanta Days taking on Chicago Hunted.
Sorry, not for Atlanta, for Chicago, but it's too little too late at this point. You can't. Deficit's too big.
That's what I was saying about that C flag. You know, you try so
Oh
hard
my
to
god,
get
and Ace picks up 3 to finish it off as like a last gasp. As he picks up all 3 with the highlight play at the very end of the game. But yeah, 50-point lead.
Holy cow. That is...
And that was the incredible conclusion to what we like to call Season 0 of the Call of Duty Rec League. A season that no one expected to happen and was only meant as a test run for the real deal when the next game came out. While it was one of the biggest headaches ever to run, it was well worth it because we were definitely able to hit the ground running going into Black Ops Cold War just a few weeks later. I hope everyone watching has enjoyed this history lesson because I certainly enjoyed making it. I plan on making more of these in the future, but I don't think there will ever be a season as eventful as this one. Thank you to all the new members that have joined us since our humble beginnings on September 10th of 2020, 2 years ago today. And we look forward to all the new members that will be joining us in the future. Take care.